haven't did a video in a while. And one thing is like weird. I sort of had a dream. It's now 3. I don't know. Oh, I have my glasses. Is it 3:35? And in the morning, a.m. Wednesday, the 22nd of July, 2020. Right? Anyway, weird dream. Because it's not the first time I had a dream, and I'm sure everybody has that dream where you see God, and it's like you really like. There's a trick. You have to imagine a mirror. You have to look at in the mirror in the dream, and I think a lot of Christians would just shoot themselves. They saw what I saw, but it's weird because in the dream. Like, let's just say, for example, the earth is a living entity that it needs, food, water, air. And say, for example, let's just say from 1600s that they knew that them, destroying like all the deer and the antelopes and, the bear. They really extincted everything, really. You got a few bears here. And yeah, you still have people like Trump Jr. and his friends that don't comprehend that, these animals used to live with us, among us in huge herds. And well, anyway, in the dream, the earth is dying, period. It's just too much pollution. It's the water that is the lifeblood. It's the water that makes it different from the other planets. If you look at the other planets, they don't have flowing water. They said, oh, we found water in Mars. Yeah, there is hydrogen, oxygen, and all that out there. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here. Anyway, the planet's dying because the water, the pollution, and then you have Trump bringing in more pollution. And then the compounded, right? Of course, Trump ain't going to get, it's not like he can't get to breathe. It's just that, I don't know, I think he has syphilis. Everybody's like, oh, just like his father died from syphilis. And it seemed like his grandfather, it did whatever he had to do. I think he was a prostitute, pimp, because there was a lot of them back then, and that makes you more hateful and stuff. And so he did dirty things. Like not pay these people. Just and so that's his father's grandfather. That came over here. That's what I think. That's what I heard, and so, but that's either here or there, we know that, and then when it's when that female, that grandma took over the business, because, see, at one time, I remember it was like 3rd grade. I learned some history about the Statue of Liberty in, I want to say Edison Island. I don't know the name of the island. I don't know, Staten Island, Long Island, Manhattan. But anyway, so I think it's Edison. But anyway, the Statue of Liberty, the island that it's on, they said when they came over that, if you're a single woman, if you didn't have a husband, if you didn't have a husband, or you wasn't, even if you was in a family, like say you're like the 26-year-old daughter, they like you would be put out there as a prostitute, and that's that's when syphilis really hit, because prostitutes was spreading sexually transmitted diseases. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But if we look at today, you zoom back to my dream, right, where the earth is dying, where the earth is calling out, where the earth is crying to breathe, And the thing is like, I didn't want to be offensive, so so you want to see my nipples? I put this over my nipples because I'm not broad. So it's like it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's like 80 degrees outside. It's hot. It's been in the hundreds for the last weeks. It's been disgustingly hot. And my neighbor over there was figuring out why this lady doing yard work, early in the morning. Because they don't comprehend. The biggest sin you ever did to your child was whoop them. They think everybody's crazy but them. Like they get to escape their house without some fucking little problems. Either like somebody died and it traumatized you. Or you got someone that got sick, or you got violent parents, or God forbid, there's so many things like that could happen to a child. Then you compound it with just beat them, but so like I covered up my breast because if we breastfed and babies were healthy, we'd have little geniuses. If women, was able to be women, but no, we got to be sex symbols. We got to compete, for this one man's affections, But I got news for him, like in the 50s and maybe in the 40s, even the 60s, yeah, I think that's sort of type of, it worked but nowadays, we got to take care of the babies. But anyway, we got to work. Basically, like, because I had a neighbor next door talking about, oh, well, here's how me work because this is why you need a man. Yeah, I won't even mention his fucked up life. And he was the man in her life. And what he brought home to her, I don't want. And she now, he don't, poor thing, I hope she alright, but poor thing, going blind and everything is a hard thing. I'm not saying that syphilis causes people to go blind, but it does. Anyway, it causes all type of things, dementia, all type of things that we associated with elderly, especially elderly men. It happens, a lot of, But anyway, I'm not interested, and plus, I'm not dating anybody in Memphis. I don't want to date anybody that got beat and then turned around and beat their kids, and they think that's, teaching their kids anything but to be a nasty, narcissistic, psychotic. And the bitch next door, he gonna call me crazy. I'm like, okay, come on one of these 12 fucking lots that I'm sitting on. I'm tired of playing with you, motherfucker, because they're not right in their mind. You know what I'm saying? They're not right. I don't trust you. Why are you coming on my property? There's no reason, unless you mean harm. But anyway, getting back to the dream. So I had a dream. It's not the first time I had a dream like where, like, you see God, and it ain't. And let me clarify. Not Jesus. Nothing else. It's like, if you follow the 10 Commandments, it says, do not take any other God before me, because I'm a jealous God. And so, yeah, you got that. But no. As a matter of fact, there's no way that, anyway, I guess, you'd have to see it for yourself to believe it. But just everything you're talking about is 180 out. But anyway, in the dream, the planet's dying. There's too much pollution. And like, I remember, like, in the dream, I was, for some reason, I thought about coronavirus. And, and then it became clear that the coronavirus is a direct effect of pollution. And you can see like Trump and the Republicans, they're fucking geniuses. So we have more, like just get rid of all the laws that we have to stop, further pollution. You got them burning up the Amazons to make more farmland. You would think that if they wanted to live out in space, it would have been a good opportunity to try to, maybe make some type of tree house that hangs down from the trees, and you could grow your whole thing in there, or you could have, like they're not thinking on the box. They're still doing the same thing they was doing since 15th century. Same thinking. So anyway, in the dream, this kaput. The planet's dead. It's too much pollution. Have a no drive Tuesday, you might help. But is it? This is it. It's finished. The planet's gonna die. It can't maintain. It won't be able to maintain human life because of the pollution of the water. When's the last time? I don't know. Maybe all the fish they're catching it for in China. But the only thing I've seen is that chalupa fish and salmon. And then you don't get I haven't seen a whole catfish in 20 years, or 15. Now you get the little catfish nuggets. We don't have, you know what I'm saying? You make one more animal extinct, because I can understand Trump and their families. They, seeing the type of business they're in. They're into they're in the business of a narcissistic business. They're in the business that that they're the trick. You know what I'm saying? I see Putin as a pimp, and Trump's his. You know what I'm saying? They probably got Trump doing all type of stuff. He's in an orgy. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of men like orgies. And I think, wasn't he going to the orgy over at 54th Street? What was his name? He moved down to Florida where Trump went. Anyway, I won't give too much of what it is, but I think it's just Dave. I don't know. But anyway, it's on the 5th floor. And was it? So anyway, that's what that is. And they die as slow death of dementia. From you don't have to have. AIDS wasn't the only disease that sexually transmitted that eventually kills. Syphilis, you got a window. You catch it like 50 years, like say you caught it like when you're 17, 18, or 20, right? And you ignore the discharge or whatever, and but anyway, they probably But because they tell women, oh, you smell like fish. But if you really smell like sardines, you need to go to the doctor, baby. You gotta, there's something wrong. It's an infection. It's just like if you smell something in your refrigerator that you don't normally smell, is because there's something in there molding. But anyway, so and 50 years later, they end up, with dementia and dying. And like they knew that. Really since the 12th century about syphilis, like in Europe, but then when they came to the United States, they're like, well, it must have been American Indians that's giving everybody syphilis. It couldn't be us. It couldn't be us British people that, with our tons of hoes we sitting over there, because that was like the way they, that's how they bred women, is that, you get out there, because a lot of men were away at war. So they're, that's what they hated about South America, because South America, the men and the women both went to war. You know what I'm saying? The women were right there. The women was their partner. So that's why the church really had to divide the men from the women. Of course, they also, we won't get into how they traffic a lot of people. But anyway, Actually, in the dream, I saw it where like it was like I guess it was Africa. I don't know, but it was right like they're going on a boat, but they're not on the boat yet. They're in like a little narrow like man-made tunnel, and they made them bend down, and the ones that didn't bend down and pretty much kiss that the preacher's penis and pray to the white God, they would shoot him. And a lot of people chose to get shot, so they had to change it a little bit to where you just learn to pray to their God. But sex, drugs, and human trafficking was what they was into. Anything to make money. That's what the church is about. At that time, I mean, sure, it's different now. It's all about. I haven't figured out, but I went to about 300 churches. Tithes, paid tithes, and very segregated, and a lot of malice and narcissistic and judgment. But I'm sure if I keep trying, I'll find, like a church that's nice to me. I'm just looking for nice. Can't find nice. It's fine. But anyway, so let me get back to the dream. So in the dream, basically, a guy, not a guy like what you said. It's just that this is where life comes from. How life is made in the universe. And you have the total darkness, not a black hole, but like this space. Then there's like being in water, like in the ocean. The same thing like being in the ocean, you can't breathe that because of the density of all the stuff that's in this atmosphere, everything. And then you have the sunlight, that's generated. Really, like the way in the dream makes it just generate, and you get at first it's just the friction of everything moving, and then you have like a magnetic pull. Let's say hallelujah for gravity, right, holding us down. And so you got attachment, sort of like how we're supposed to attach to our moms. Because if you have attachment, right, because here mostly you don't. So anyway, they have attachment, and you have life. Now, see this hand say it's Earth, and it's youth, and it's because of the type of attachment it has that we have. The water is very essential to life. The dream made it seem like we just that we were the water. We were one with the water, and things was mixing. The heat, the cold. Anyway, life began. And now I think that we could all. Because you think, 50 years or whatever. No, I think in 5 years, because of the pollution, because the planet won't be able to sustain its life. It needs certain. It needs air. Like we need air. But anyway, and I think that and we're not going to change our lifestyle. We're not going to go to where, we're not going to go back to nomadic. We're not going to bring the herds back. You're not going to be able to have little geniuses at 9 years old. Your parents are working. Parents don't have time. You know what I'm saying? Around here, these kids get whooped and fucked before they can walk and talk. A lot of times, most of them just get whooped. You know what I'm saying? So, the energy that you used to like a mammal that's learning, especially very young, they should be following a parent around all the time. That's why you got breasts. Is the kids got to come with you. Anyway, so maybe it's not the end of the world, and Trump don't got nothing to do with it. Trump's just a potsy. You know, this has been a joint effort to continue to pollute the earth. You know, let's say we got 12 people that's got the most money and control over other people. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, face it, capitalism is still slavery. Because you always hear about slaves bought their way out of slavery. That is part of capitalism. You're working for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're making cars or something, you're not making this car just perfect for you and, you know, you go get the parts. You know what I'm saying? Because the way human life in this dream was meant to be was like, you know, you grow your own food, you know, and it was mostly fish and like not red meat that you really ate a lot. Oh, red meat! What's another? Like I woke up and I was like, red meat at a very young age, it's hard for the child to break down the red meat. So of course you could get, you know, type 1 diabetes because there were more fish and, you know, just what you grow, what you eat. And of course, yeah, you did substitute, especially in colder areas, but you just didn't go kill it all willy-nilly. You know, it's a matter of respect. So anyway, and plus I don't know, 5 years, and it's weird in these dreams, 5 years doesn't have to be 5 years. 5 years could be 5 minutes. Just weird how, like, it does time or whatever. Or it could be, well, it's not going to be longer. It's not 50 years. Could be, but it's not. It could be 5 years or 50 years. But it's not anything past that because, like, it's not like the dream tells me, so I don't hear voices in my dream. You know, it's part of me, it's my conscious or unconscious, you know, my it, that's my it talking to me, you know. Must be nice if you think you hear Jesus. You know, it's just me thinking in my little, but I live alone. So, you know, my thoughts are my own. And plus, so anyway, so too much pollution, too much like narcissistic behavior with a lot of malice. An example of that, I guess you can see right now, is how the police in Portland, the police, anywhere you see police that you just think it's okay to kill people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, anyway, I think, you know, yeah, hopefully it's 50 years. But anyway, like, I wonder if anybody else has seen God. Have you ever did that trick in your dream where you look at it? Like, it's not a real mirror, because, like, it's so dumb. Because, like, I feel like I'm in space. And you cannot breathe in there. It's real hard. But it's cool. So cool. It's cold. Until you get closer to, like, the sun. But, you know, like not even close at all. But then, it's warm. And it's just like being hugged. It's like being hugged by, like, light, and then you like being hugged by the darkness, and the light feels good. And that's what. And the sun gonna be there. Like, but I pretty think that we're on our way to destroying the planet because it just doesn't have the nutrition that it needs, and that the planet was providing for everybody. So, you know, so I think a lot of the, and I could be totally wrong. It's a silly dream. But yeah, God is a white male floating up the sky. Be surprised, not floating up at the sky like you think. It's like probably nothing like you think. And I wouldn't look on it straight. Oh, I'm hungry now. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta water my plants at night. The neighbor, he just brought. I'm sure he's a policeman because you gotta have a lot of policemen here. I mean, for them to follow me to the dollar store, Walmart, they love Walgreens. I'm just not gonna go to Walgreens anymore. But, like, you know, get gas. You know, I mean, I was in the Dollar General store, right, and they had like, here comes one of the, and I'm looking at rat poisons, and one of the normal undercover cops. Like he just comes right next to me. This announcement comes on saying about stay 6 feet away. I was standing there to begin with, and I'm still standing there. And he goes running out, and I was like, the thing is that they don't have no respect. They don't have no shame. So it doesn't. And nah, I don't want no motherfucker that got whooped. I don't give a fuck what you know what I'm saying. If you think I need a man, then you the one that need a man, not me. I got me. You know what I'm saying? Not one of these motherfuckers. Anyway, my whole thing is I had a dream. God can't breathe. You know, you think, you know, and because the air's polluted, the water's polluted, you done destroy the chain of food, that chain of life. You know, like I guess all of y'all seen Disney. I don't watch Disney movies. I think they're sort of the propaganda. Like maybe I'm just too old and I don't have no kids in here, but it really scares me. But you know, the chain of life. You know, the circle of life. You know, like when they say like, oh, you kill something. It's more than that. The circle of life. And you know, it's gonna be harder to breathe here, and you know, just pollution, just a lot of like in the dream it's like tar, it's like a sludge. I mean, like there's like gas and oil, and then there's just nasty tarry sludge, just choking the planet off, just choking it off. But you know, it's like these toxic gases that comes out of this oil and like toxic shit is just you know, it's and you know, and its food chain's been destroyed totally. So 5 to 50 years and the planet's just gonna die. Planet's just gonna die. And women, don't forget, we don't breastfeed, so men will go to titty bars and spend their money. And plus, like, those I got 10 hands, but I think it's like 12 families. Like, if you guys feed yourself, you know, they're feeding clothing. Oh, that's why in the dream, like you're supposed to be like you grew your own stuff. You grew your own clothes, right? You didn't necessarily have to kill an animal for clothing, but you grew your own, you know, like cotton. It's like growing your clothes, growing, you know, you grew everything that you needed. God provided everything. You didn't need to go to the store, but you did need to have parents that were into nurturing, you know, and not beating them. I mean, that's great to beat your kids to get along in this society because it's very oppressed and abusive, you know, and it'll get them like prepared if they have to go to jail, you know, for that type of narcissistic behavior. Anyway, let me get off. And so, let's say pollution started coronavirus, or we could say that the pollution help you know, because people are just nasty, they're just filthy. They're just filthy and nasty. They're just, you know, basically you're filthy and nasty, things are growing there that you don't want to grow. You know, like black moles, like many people have experience like that, you know, but that's what happens when, you know, just things are filthy. People is nasty. The water is nasty. The air is nasty. The land is nasty. It's all polluted. It's nasty. People, you know, having their body different toxins. And all this God has in them now. And it's killing them. And that was my dream. So, have a good one.